Ah! I got something! What?
Oh! I got it! Yeah! Greetings and welcome to That Works, a DreamWorks podcast. Starring a happily unemployed photographer barely getting by on DoorDash, a disgruntled ex-journalist now writing Scott Pilgrim fan fiction, and a spineless, asthmatic 26-year-old curmudgeon sweeping movie theaters for a living. Today...
It's time, boys.
Today's movie is really, really fishy.
Something about it just seems wrong.
The other DreamWorks movie from 2004, I think this is about the time this is the second time they've doubled up on here, but around here is where they really start doubling up. It's Shark Tale. Heralded as one of the worst that the studios made, but still beloved by bean culture and just has had a resurgence, not quite to the level of B-movie, but kind of in that same field of how did this get made? Whew. And it made a decent amount at the box office too. So it wasn't a failure at all, but well, let's get into it. This is Shark Tale.
Oh my goodness.
See how much I made?
Yes. Ow.
You mean how much it made, and then like El Dorado made like, what was it, 90 million worldwide?
People like Will Smith?
It's Will Smith. It's the all-star cast and the animation difference, which we'll get into. So this is Shark Tale. Thinking animating Will Smith's face onto a fish was a good idea, DreamWorks introduces us to the shallowest animated character of all time. Zing. Oscar. Being a bona fide loser and earning his title, Oscar dreams of being famous for the sake of being famous, something that would make him a perfect YouTube blogger. After some racially stereotyped jellyfish fail to kill him, Oscar is thought to have killed Frankie, a shark, and son of local loan shark, son of local shark leader Don Leno, or as Oscar calls him, Don Lamo.
Kill him.
Along with Leno's not gay son Lenny, who's a vegetarian, Oscar keeps up the ruse to make money and be loved. But can his charade last?
No.
Of course not.
Oh, my goodness.
So, before we start, I'd like to add that disclaimer. That's a bit too late. This doesn't spoil too much, but there are going to be spoilers. This movie is 17 years old. But if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil the magic, especially Shark Tale.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's worth it.
Yep, we want to preserve the magic of these
Dickey
movies.
has a funny definition of worth it.
Oh, it's so worth it in every way possible.
Yeah, and I'll also say, before we start, Jake had never seen this, right?
Ever.
This
I
is his
paid
first
money
watching.
for this.
He had to pay to watch it.
I paid money for this.
I would pay money for this all the time.
What, 30, 35? 30,
34.
34. It's his first time watching this undersea gem.
Absolute gold mine of a film.
So how about you start, Jake?
Oh,
tell the people.
So, here's my invitation of this pitch. Walks in the room, sits down at the board. I imagine it looks something like the boardroom of the Shark Mafia.
Yeah.
Is it Shark Tank?
Might be.
It actually
might be.
it's Shark
might
Tank.
Be. So, sits down. All right, guys. Here's the deal. I'm going to put Will Smith's face on a fish.
I love it.
That's it. That's all we need.
Gold!
Will Smith on a fish. Print money. But don't forget, Marty Scorsese eyebrows. Like
I did forget that.
Let's make it a gangster movie.
Whoa!
And include references that the little kids don't get.
Because
perfect.
Because that's
perfect.
Comedy gold.
And then Jack Black. Just don't even write for him. Just let him be Jack Black.
He's just being Jack Black.
Just be Jack Black.
Imagine Jack Black is a vegetarian.
A vegetarian shark? That's great.
Then we make him a dolphin.
And then Yes, that's all.
I have to pull. No, I did not like this movie.
How dare you?
It is just what did I write here?
There are no good characters. Everyone's kind of terrible. In their own way.
That's the
Hold
whole
on.
point. It's humanizing.
Humanizing. If
Because
anything, it's
everybody-
uncanny valley humanizing.
That's
Oh.
the point. It both humanizes the characters and how they look.
Here's the thing. This isn't even funny, Will Smith.
No.
It's not.
It's
There's
cringy, Will Smith.
Yes,
which is a
it's
shame.
it's Will Smith saying, "I need money." As bad as that sounds, every character in it is a stereotype, and it drives me up a wall. Oh my gosh! And then Robert De Niro as the
Don Lamo.
Yeah. like, I just oh my gosh!
What I mean,
It
what else would you have done?
I wouldn't have made it.
But let's say, for sake of argument,
There's no
Which I-
sake of argument there. I just wouldn't have made it.
Which I
would
know-
pass.
I know this came out
Pass.
at the same time, right? Right, this came out. Shrek 2 did.
Same year.
Same year.
Same year.
Yeah, if
So
you had your
just-
binder, we'd know.
So just think
Where's your
about
binder?
it.
Where's your binder,
Just-
Dickie?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Where's
It's
your
gone.
binder?
It's
Is it
gone.
under your hat? You're
It's
reaching
under-
for your hat. Is it
it's
under your hat? No, it's not under your hat.
No. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
Good.
What was I saying? What was I talking about before you blatantly interrupted
You mentioned
me?
the stereotypes and how this is a bad movie.
It's
A bad.
Okay,
it's fun to watch.
I can
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
I
Are
have
you-
fun watching it.
Exactly.
get. You know what else is fun to watch? B movie. You know what's a better movie? B movie.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't.
on his side.
I'm back and forth.
B movie knows what it is. This doesn't. This
But
thinks
that's-
it's cool.
But that's
it's
part
not
of
cool.
that's
Is that
part
part
of
of
the
what
goal.
makes it so offensive?
Probably. They are so far up their own butts at times. This movie's like, look at this scathing satire. I go, what?
And that's what makes it so fun, is because it thinks it's fun. I mean, okay, are you gonna look at me and tell me every single movie doesn't want to be successful? Obviously it does. Obviously this movie wants to be successful. It has to think of itself as successful. And it is successful.
Yeah.
It's a very entertaining. I'm not even kidding you. I would pay money to watch this.
Did you
I-
pay money to watch it?
No.
How?
You own it.
I think I have it on Prime. Or I watched it on Prime. I didn't have
No, you had to pay for
I
it.
did have to pay for it.
You
And again-
did pay for it.
And I'm
Wow.
fine with it. I'd pay for it again. Because the people that made this movie need to know people are still watching this.
Oh, they know people are still watching it. Not for the right reasons, probably.
I mean, this
Okay.
is the kind of movie you watch when you drive.
I mean, I watched this movie because Shark Week.
Yep.
So, like,
That's an interesting take on Shark Week. I'll grant you, and also I will grant the animators. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, it is a computer animation of the way the Little Mermaid fish were drawn,
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah, it is.
especially with like the type of thing like Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that way. It just I don't think translates as
Because
well
it's-
into that type of animation.
And before we go on, we are not faulting the animators. They do a fantastic job. We are talking about the deliberate choices made for the movie, because with that, when you do it as like a cartoon, as a 2D cartoon, I think it works way better because you know it's not real. When you have something like this that is trying to be as photorealistic as the technology allows, you just dip into that uncanny valley.
Well,
What are you
and
really
it's
trying
not
to-
even that. It's just like with animators, you're given something to animate and you animate it. Like,
Yeah. So again, it's
you
not their
aren't
fault.
necessarily the one in charge of the character design.
And the world they're in looks like the inside of a garbage disposal. It looks so bleak and gross.
It's kind of like ants underwater.
But I
It
think
is. It's ants underwater. The second original Sausage Party.
I don't know.
Because when I was a kid,
I didn't notice it
mind
looking that bad. I really
this time
didn't.
around, I was like, this just looks so ugly. Everyone's face is ugly.
I-
The city around them looks so. Because this is a year after Finding Nemo, and they're not. And I'm saying they're supposed to look the same. But Finding Nemo was bright and vibrant and took that realism of the sea and made it work. this looks really bad.
Well, I mean, they put a human face on a fish. So,
But
did
you could
think
say
it was
they
going
did that.
to
They
look
did
good?
that. They did that with.
Did you think that was going to look
No,
good?
they didn't really do that with Finding Nemo.
I was gonna say they kind of do. They
No,
don't.
I mean,
they
their
don't.
mouths move.
It is.
There are
This
more-
is completely
They
different.
their
actually
eyes are kind of in the front of their head a little bit, if I recall. But
Yeah, they look more like fish, but you still have the emotions in the face. Unlike that
Okay.
2019 movie that we made fun of Dickey for liking.
oh yeah,
But I'm saying for this, it's like they're making it way more than it should be their face, and because of the thing with ants, the photorealism attempts.
I
It
mean,
looks gross.
to be honest,
But-
if you look at the box office, I mean, they cashed in on it and probably riding the wave of
Ah!
Finding Nemo.
Yeah, it's just.
I'll give you a call for that.
It's not the worst thing ever. It's one of those things where the animation
fine.
is. You can tell there's a lot of work. It's like the top-notch big studio mainstream money thing, but also they like deliberately make it look scummy.
But
It's
that
just-
kind of fits the motif of the movie.
It
though.
does. It really
I'm
does
I'm
fit
arguing
it.
the movie as a whole was a bad idea.
Oh, I'm not saying
Yeah.
the movie was a good idea, but I'm saying somehow in its execution and in its deliverance. Deliverance? That could be.
That would have been. I'd watch that movie. Deliverance Underwater.
Not what I was trying to say.
What would the fish be to represent each of the characters there?
We're not going to talk.
That's
about
another podcast.
That's another thing. But all I'm saying is that there was by no means their intentions, but they made gold. They made absolute gold. Are you going to tell me you can watch this movie and not have working at the car wash stuck in your head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I can't.
The only person putting it in my head is you.
I mean, listen, like, you're at the end. You're just bopping with it. Like, you can't not love it.
To be
It's
honest with you, not once during that movie did I bop with it.
Not once.
I bet you sat there watching it going,
I fell asleep.
You
I had to
fell asleep.
rewind it.
What time of the night were you watching it at?
3 p.m.
Ah.
take that.
You got me there.
Glub, glub.
Glub.
Glub, glub.
Glub, no. All I'm saying is that it's not good, but it's fun. But
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's
Okay,
just as
thank
I'm
you.
watching it, I'm like, man, I don't like this. I'm having fun at times, but kid me was entertained by it. But there's always a part of me that was like, something doesn't feel right. Especially when Finding Nemo was the year before. It's like,
Well, I
shouldn't
think
this be in a similar vein? Which of course they're separate studios, so to a kid it's different. But now it's like, this is not good.
And now thinking about it, even with suspension of disbelief or whatever, that's what's called, right?
Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna preface this with this. My dad would be able to pick me out of any lineup anywhere, no matter what I was wearing, whatever.
Yep.
If I was a shark, you put a belt around my nose and a different shirt on me
And paint.
And pain.
and paint. My dad would not think that I was a dolphin.
Okay, but also, is your dad a shark?
Yes. You weren't expecting that one, were you?
He's making the same face he did with Groomba in the last episode.
No.
Yes,
that
he is.
was Goomba.
I can't believe I just said it. Anyway,
It's like a Roomba.
It's
that
hard
grooms
to-
you.
listen, it's hard to argue for this movie when it's like,
Bad.
Yeah.
it's not.
Yes,
Bad.
it is.
It's
Look
so-
at the main character. This is the worst person ever, and he gets everything he wants, despite the fact that he
Because
lied
he's
to
Will
everybody. He should have died.
Because he's Will Smith. Will Smith deserves all of the good things.
Yeah, so how about a good movie?
Yeah, but here's a
You got me
clear
there.
here's a clear
You got me there.
here's a clear difference. Will Smith is a good guy.
Yes.
The fish he's playing, not good guy.
He wants to be famous for the sake of being famous.
I mean,
There is no depth to that, and you could say, "Oh, it's a satire." It's like, then why is this the main character that we're supposed to like when he's a jerk to everybody?
you know,
It is really hard to like him.
some
he's
people
terrible.
probably feel that way. Just want to be famous to be famous.
Yeah, I don't want to see them in a movie as like the main character. Because there are times it's like, why does Angie stick around with him when he is just a jerk to her?
Is that the fish that he actually falls in love with, or the fish that?
That's the-
makes it?
It's
That's
right
the
there.
fish
That's Renee
that was-
Zellweger going the whole movie. She slayed the shark. That's what she does. That's what she does in the movie. Because that was like we're about 8 years after Jerry Maguire. It's right after like Chicago and Cold Mountain. That's kind of what she was doing this time around. That's just kind of her shtick. And I like her character. And every time I'm like, why are you giving him this thing to pay off his debt when clearly
Because
he's
she was in
terrible
love
to
with him.
at the same time it's like,
Because she was in love with
and
him.
then he
That's why.
loses it. And she still is like,
It's because she's in love with him. Oh, it's
so she's
true
in love.
love. Are you going to barf it?
She's-
True
Why is
love.
she in love with
But
him?
she's in love with him,
I mean-
and he is, at least at the start of the movie, clearly not in love with her.
No, that is true.
And so
And
she
he's a
is
jerk
willing
to
to
her.
lie for him and to do whatever he wants and to give him whatever he wants.
I'm not saying it's
he
a good
shows
relationship.
no sort of like really, like I think it's a bad message.
I'm not saying it's a good relationship.
we don't
And
even
it's- I
see
guess
the
it's
root
not a
of that. Why
great
does she like
message.
him? We never see him really
Well,
being super nice.
I
Everything
mean,
is always about him.
Really, well, and that's just it. Everything he says to her is an underhanded sort of like
Yeah.
slap-ish type of thing. The only real root of the relationship you see is he's halfway nice to her. He sweet talks her at the phone booth or whatever she works at.
Yeah, the assistants.
I'm just. It's a shallow movie in a
Glub,
deep
glub.
area.
Glub, glub.
Glub glub.
Oh my god.
I can understand that it's fun for some people.
Because
I can
it's a
understand
garbage
that you
fire.
grew up with
It
it
is
and
a
you're
garbage
fond of it for that reason.
That's what it comes to.
That's what, and I can respect that because, I look at Lion King with rosy colored glasses.
Oh,
94.
94 Lion King with rosy colored glasses. Like there are some things in there if I took the rosy colored glasses off that I just.
interesting. I couldn't think anything wrong with Lion
There is
King,
something
but
in the
that's-
movie, in Shark Tale, that I legitimately like, love that it's part of the movie, and made me laugh really hard. And you know what it is?
Martin Scorsese's eyebrows.
No. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's Luca the octopus.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
killing me. Hey, boss, it's Lenny. But he was wearing a disguise, so we wouldn't know it was him. And this is like after the whole reveal has happened, and I'm just dying. And like he has the record starts skipping, so he moves it, and it's Baby Got Back, and he goes, "Hey, boss, big butts." And then I'm laughing this whole time. Every time he talks, I'm just dying. And I want a spin-off of Shark Tale where Luca is the main
I
character.
think I'd laugh more at that.
That's what we need. We need more spin-offs from Shark Tale. Can someone give us like
Someone needs to take the good characters and make it.
and just give them their own thing?
Yeah.
Which would be Luca and Angie. That's about it.
I
Or
like
maybe
Martin
Lenny.
Lenny. I'd give it to Lenny too.
Martin
Lenny,
Scorsese
I
straight
like
up tries to kill Oscar because they're paying back money.
I know.
Like he's literally making deals with gangsters. He's not a good person. We
No.
also made Martin Scorsese go, yo.
Because
What is this? What is this?
That is how
it
Martin
makes more sense than B movie. I like B movie better, but it makes more sense than B movie.
It really does.
There's a through and through
Glub,
plot
glub.
Glub glub.
Glub.
line.
I think that's him halfway agreeing with us.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch B movie, especially after this last one.
I
We'll
don't
get to
know.
it, but
I
I was
think
like,
I'd
I was
rather
just
watch
laughing. I'm like, they
this.
are going 120% on B movie, just into the absurdity.
I
We'll get into that. This one is like, this is supposed to be like, look how cool this is, and it's such a great satire and a rise and fall story with all this great comedy. I'm going, no, it's not.
I think we might want to give Dickey a little bit more time to speak. We've kind of two-zied on his movie for
To be fair, this is kind of hard to argue only because you're making decent points. What?
Glub,
glub,
glub, glub.
The only thing that is I recognize that it's bad. I recognize the writing isn't good. But at the same time, it just holds a special place in my heart.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
You like
all
it,
I'm
you
trying to
want
say.
it. It is fun to watch
Thank you.
for some of it.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm just
And I
trying
really-
to make sure you're not going to say it's better than Prince of Egypt because you've been doing that. You
It's
made some
not-
comments
So-
I'm not proud of.
So he has a solid argument for like a Shrek or a Shrek 2.
Yeah.
If he tries to argue this,
I'm not gonna.
We're going to go find the this hole in the ocean, dig deeper, and put you in it. Just like in the movie. It was funny.
Okay, but also...
Isn't that funny, kids? We're killing people for not paying their debts back. Rated PG.
But here's fish. Here's 50 feet of crap. And then there is you. That is a good line. Are you going to tell me that's not a good line? That's a good line.
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't even remember it.
You don't remember, like, where, like, Sykes is like... So, top of the food chain. There's
Really?
sharks. There's me. There's things. There's whatnots.
yeah.
There's everything. There's 50 feet of crap. And then there's you.
I do remember.
And I just
that a
feel
little
that's
bit.
my
Good?
bone.
No.
I just
funny? Yeah.
I really took that line to heart.
I
I
still
really
think-
You
did.
took that to heart?
I did.
I'm not going to glub that.
I still think.
Sometimes you feel like Oscar. Sometimes you feel like you're being weighed by 50 pounds of crap.
I still want to say this is not funny, Will Smith.
No.
No, but
I
it's...
think someone has said it.
It's
I don't
not-
know where I heard it. There's two Will Smiths where it's like there's funny, laugh a lot Will Smith, and then there's like cringy, too much Will Smith in his movies. It's usually this one, but this Shark Tale is clearly the.
But here's the
Shut
thing:
up.
is you can still laugh at cringy Will Smith.
It's hard.
You can though.
You can.
I
Clearly, he can.
I like laughing at this kind of Will Smith. And granted, I mean, like actual funny, like Fresh Prince. Obviously, Will Smith is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That will never change.
No, not at all. And that's what I think is kind of interesting is that he's so cringy, but you just can't help but like him. And it's not the character. I know you're going to come at me when I say the character is Will Smith just being there. Hearing his voice
Yeah,
just gives me happy vibes.
but there
no
are so
matter.
many more movies where that is played off so much better. Like
That is fair.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
No.
That's Will
Independence
Smith
Day.
being Will Smith.
Yeah.
Independence Day.
Yeah, that's
He
definitely
has,
Will.
he has all the best lines.
Wild
He
Wild
does.
West.
There you go.
That's Will Smith being Will Smith to a T.
It is.
Even,
No,
and I hate this movie. Aladdin 2019. Even Aladdin 2019, which
Okay,
I loathe.
He is
the best
he's
part.
the best thing in that movie.
And there were
Exactly.
times he was the only thing making me like enjoy parts of it.
Even when he is the blue genie,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
which not even that much of it.
yeah, whatever. He's the one small saving grace of a bad movie.
That's
Here, he has like no saving grace.
But I don't know why. Like when I actually think about it, I don't know why.
I
It
think it's
doesn't.
because there's no sympathy for his character.
It's just
We're
that's-
supposed to feel bad for someone that is an idiot and is shallow to the point
You
where
made
he
that
is
pun
just
too many
unlikable.
times.
He is. I'm
That's
going to keep saying
That's
it.
his main point. He like
There's-
orbits around it.
And then
The
you can say,
whole problem stems from that problem.
Him being an ass. Yeah, that's
Him being an ass, or like
Both.
a character
both
being an ass?
him
Well,
and Will
because they
Smith.
try to spin it with like, my dad was the greatest, but people laughed at his profession. And now I'm in this profession. I'm like, that's interesting, but it's not coming off. And when you tell the story, I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah,
but
no,
why are you such a jerk to everybody?
I definitely think the Lenny side of this story was a much better sort of, and I think it was. It's gonna sound funny.
Oh,
I think it was more the story that they wanted to tell, but I don't think it would have flown as a solo story. I think the story with Lenny is more the story that they wanted to tell, but I don't think it would have flown in the time frame that they produced it in.
yeah. I will say, here, I'll give you something. I'll give you a bone. The moment where Lino hugs Lenny and says, "I love you, son, no matter what you eat or what you wear." I was actually like, that's actually a nice little moment. I actually like that. In a movie that's not very good, that I have kind of slogged through and laughed occasionally, that's good. The problem is this isn't the focus. Lenny is a better main character.
I mean, that's why I enjoyed like watching Lenny and the. I mean, I'm not gonna say I did enjoy it. It's because he is. I mean, Jack Black is fun. Like you're not gonna not enjoy Jack Black's voice, although it can be annoying at times. But.
So the higher pitch in this movie is a little hard to take at times.
Yeah. I can relate, but I can see.
The Sebastian thing was funny. Sebastian, the whale watching dolphin. That makes me laugh. Because it's the worst moment. Sorry.
Excuse me. it would be interesting to talk to someone who like produced this to see, because you think about it, like the Lenny character is a much better character, like you said. Jack Black, at the time,
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was.
It's right after School Rock.
Yeah, he was hot.
He's fairly popular. I mean, but Will Smith is obviously bigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
he's still
again,
really big.
is the Lenny story the story they wanted to tell, but they just had to lean on the popularity of Will Smith, or even in the same vein, did they want to tell the Lenny story, but then they got Will Smith to voice Oscar and just overshadowed the whole thing? Because that's the more that I'm thinking about it, the more that I'm thinking that that's the case.
Just because, like, since you pointed that out, there are two entirely different, well, not entirely different, but could be entirely different movies. Is him and Lenny, and then him just trying to be famous, which I know they correlate like together, but it just seemed like they were like two different things, and they kind of.
I feel like that crux of his character about he looked up to his dad and he saw how people laughed at him for being like the lowest of the low. Mm-hmm. I think there's an interesting story in there where instead of making it Oscar's whole plan is I want to be famous, it should be I don't want people to laugh at me. I want to do something meaningful, but which I think that doesn't come off at all.
I would say they definitely could have been trying to go for that.
Yeah, sounds like that. But it sounds like I think the original title was Shark Slayer. So I think
was it really?
Yeah, so I think him in this role was always like it was the same story, they just changed the title. But I think like that's always been a big part again with the if you were to talk to someone, you wonder if that was the case early on, but I know this was the story they were going to tell for a big part of production. I just wonder again if there was a time before that.
I would be curious to see.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Yeah. Any other things? Closing thoughts? Anything on this?
I'll leave it out with what I've been saying. I grew up with this. It hits there for nostalgia reasons. It's not a good movie, but hell, I like it. That's just. It just hits you in the feels.
I'll let you close it because you started this and you had to watch this first time. The only thing I'll add is Peter Falk, rest in peace. They have him sing Wind Beneath My Wings literally 30 seconds before he's farting underwater. You don't do that to Peter Falk. You don't do that to my boy Columbo. Anyway, any closing thoughts, Jake? Your first time watching Shark Tale.
I would reiterate the whole rosy colored glasses thing. Nostalgia does a lot. Like, I understand. It does a lot.
Glub, glub.
Glub, glub. It's just, you just gotta wonder what the decision makers were thinking.
Maybe that's the next big documentary we get. The making of Shark Tale.
Or just the making of an animated, like, if they made him, what's the Pixar book? Imagineering? Imagination?
So Imagineering
Creativity is what it's called.
Creativity, okay. So the Imagineering is the Disney Parks thing.
Yeah, if they made like that into a movie or something like that, like that'd be
a DreamWorks documentary. Like the Pixar story is the Pixar one where they talk everything up through Cars or something. It's like the whole start.
I just you wonder why some decisions got made, and I know we've talked about this before, where you can't evaluate a piece of work outside of the context of its time. For us to sit here in 2021 and say, okay, these are all stereotypes, and we're not okay with this. Well, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't been okay with it back in 2004, but
it is also
it was a different world there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And you really got me wanting. I want to know. If there was one man, if it was a team, who
pitched it?
Who pitched it? And whose idea was it to put Will Smith's face on a fish? That's all I want to know.
I mean, clearly,
that's all I want to know.
Clearly, they made like garbage trucks full of money on this. Like, I can't honestly fault them for making the movie itself.
And they got nominated for Best Animated Feature.
And to be fair, what else came out that year?
Shrek 2, which also didn't win because The Incredibles won. Those were the three.
That would do.
There were only three?
I think the rules are if a certain amount that come out in a year that debut in New York and Los Angeles, one of the two, if there aren't enough that have a high enough average from the the committee that nominates, they do 3. I think it's like less than 8. But if you have 8 or more that hit that number, then they choose 5. It's been 5 since 2011, I think. I think 2010 was the last year.
So
3.
here's the other deal. Let me look at my.
I should really look up what else came out in 2004 animated, because I do feel like we could have had more than 3 nominees if that wasn't the way we
go
do it.
from May 19th to October. Like, I mean, this is sitting pretty firmly in the shadow of Shrek 2, and that's a tough act to follow.
That's like a near impossible act to follow.
And like doing this challenge the way that we've been doing it, I'm watching Shrek 2, and then the next day I'm watching Shark Tale. That could color my opinion of this. I get that. I'll throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why it's fun for kids. Kids don't think about it, and again, evaluating outside the context of a song, whatever. That's all I got to say about it, really.
Yeah, that is fair.
Looks like some other things we got in 2004. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie, I would have nominated that over Shark Tale.
Oh, that should have been nominated.
The first SpongeBob movie was 04.
That should have been nominated. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Howl's Moving Castle came out, but it didn't debut in the US till 05, and it was nominated for the 05 ones. Home on the Range? That's an interesting side-by-side.
Classic.
That should have been nominated for the yodeling scenes alone.
No, that should have been nominated for Best Picture. Skip animated, Best Picture, Home Alone.
The Polar Express came out, which you want to talk about Uncanny Valley. With some of that motion capture.
What was up with 2004 and Uncanny Valley?
Steamboy came out.
Was that the same year as that weird Jim Carrey one too?
Oh no, that was later.
That's like 2009.
Yeah, that was later,
really
that was free.
It doesn't look that much later.
That one hurts me to my soul.
Oof, that's deep.
I just remember. I was just gonna quick side note with that. Like, I remember just watching that. It was my English class. I'm like, first time I ever saw it, English class, and I was like, why did they make it look like that?
I didn't even make it 45 minutes into it. I was like, and there are much better versions of this. I'm gonna
not gonna.
By the way, next Christmas, if either of you remember that I said this and have time, A Christmas Carol, the BBC miniseries.
Check it out.
Too many chef's kiss tonight. He's been chef kissing a movie.
You can't have too many chef's kiss.
I mean, at least he gave chef's kiss to the good movie.
Exactly.
That's true.
I'll give a chef's kiss to Will Smith.
Yes.
Because
all day long.
Will Smith can do no wrong.
You
deserve a hug.
Yes. But you also are just one of those actors that just no matter what movie you're in, you look like you're having fun.
Exactly.
And that's all we need.
That's all we need is Will Smith having fun.
Just keep doing it.
I apologize if we were too hard on you for your wrong opinions.
Oh no, it's
glove.
Glove.
It's fine. I know. It's fine. It's fine.
Anything else? Because I have nothing else to say about Shark Tale.
I think we got it all out. I think we did.
All right. So that was again Shark Tale, the other 2004 DreamWorks movie. Still waiting on that Luca the Octopus spinoff. Other Shark Tale related.
We never mentioned Ziggy Marley. Ziggy Marley was in it.
So was Dougie Doug.
Yeah. So I just want to get that out there. I loved him.
Bernie.
Anyway, you can keep going.
That's all.
I just wanted to say Ziggy Marley was a thing.
Also, why was 10-year-old me confused when Angelina Jolie fish Lola come on the screen and go,
oh, 10-year-old me was very confused. They put a lot of people on a very specific path with that decision. That's all I'm going to say.
This is awakening something in me.
This is giving me conflicting, like, Lola Bunny feelings. Oh, I went there.
Yeah, but you're right, though.
Right? It's weird, but, like, it happened. Yeah.
He's getting very uncomfortable with the podcast right now.
Is this bringing those feelings back up in you, Jared?
Rule 34. Anyway, that thus concludes the 9th episode of That Works, a DreamWorks podcast. That was Shark Tale. I'm done talking about Will Smith fish movie.
Ants.
Yeah. The next one we have is Another one I watched as a kid. I'm sure you said you have nostalgia for it too. Madagascar.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll see you next time for Madagascar. Have a good one.
Go.